Welcome everybody to Manifest Monday. This is episode 87. I got my guys in the building. Shout out
Hey,
to my
hey.
guy Diamond and shout out to my guy Z. And it's your boy and it's your boy Ramond, man. And today we want to talk about something that we're currently in real time doing right now. And it's rebranding, right?
Right,
I think everyone at some point gets to a point where the things that they're doing in their lives they might have outgrown it. You know
right.
what I mean? And they just they kind of have peaked in a certain area, and you know they want to do other things, but then something is holding them back at for some whatever reason that is. You know what I mean? So we just wanted to have a real conversation about that. It's something that you're going to see from all three of us in the upcoming future. But just let's kick it off, fellas. Like what does rebranding look like for y'all, and have y'all ever held yourself back from a rebrand?
Oh, absolutely. I will start with that. Absolutely, bro. I feel like I held myself back so many times because sometimes it's like once you reach a certain point, you have this one thing telling you that, oh, you're not good enough yet for that. You know what I'm saying? So rebranding for me is like if you have that passion, something that you always want to do, and you've been afraid to do it, right? It's never too late to like to start working on that specific thing. And that's kind of what I'm going through right now with everything I've been working on, like because the one once you're knowing a specific niche, it's kind of like hard to like pivot because people already know you for you're a fitness guy, you're a
Hmm.
marketing guy. Oh, so whenever you're trying to like pivot and transform and rebrand, you're a little bit hesitant because like, I wonder if people are going to take me serious. Do I have the skill set? Do I have the knowledge of what I'm trying to do? For me, that's how I held myself back in so many ways, bro. So so now I'm trying to get over that with the whole rebranding process. Like now over the years, there are things I've done in regards to like business, finance, and all those things. So lately, those are the things that I'm trying to like rebrand into.
Hmm.
Even though yeah, I'm known for fitness and other things, but you shouldn't be just put in a box. We have so many other great things that we're good at. So it's always good to like rebrand, kind of like figure out what you really want to do long term. So that's kind of like what I'm going through right now as well.
I
Yeah,
feel that.
I agree. I think on your journey, man, and it's naturally a part of evolution, right? Is you have to you have to take a step back sometimes in order to go forward, right? You have to reassess, realign, check in with yourself, make sure that like what it is that you're doing is conducive to where you want to be. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes what you're doing is, and sometimes it's not. And I think just recognizing that, and to DG's point, is not limiting yourself, right? I think that's really the biggest thing. Is I think we unnecessarily place limits on ourselves,
Right.
or unnecessary pressure on ourselves, where it's just like I think. I even think about it, right? I always tell people like I wouldn't move back to Denver, but I think a big reason why that is because like I feel like my brand has extended beyond Denver now, and I feel like going back to Denver would be like a step back, like in
Right.
not a good way, right?
Right.
And a big piece of that is pride. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not gonna sit here in front. Like a huge piece
Yeah.
of that is pride. Like I just like
Right.
I refuse to like go back because I'm like
Right.
nah. Like I feel like that would just for myself be taking a step backwards instead of going forwards. Um, and sometimes, you know, there's those opportunities where it's just like, shit, I'm gonna just be stubborn and I'm gonna just like, I'm gonna figure it out, regardless. But then there's moments where it's just like, nah, you know what? Like, I just need to bite the bullet sometimes and just understand that this is going to ultimately get me closer to my purpose and closer to the goal. Like it's gonna move the goalpost closer as opposed to further, right? Um, and that's the whole idea of a rebrand, right? Uh, I'll never forget, what we Ramon used to be PC and I used to be DJ Exclusive. That's one of the biggest rebrands of our careers to date,
For
right? Like
Right.
sure. For
um
sure.
that rebrand was necessary though, right? I think of it like as what snakes do. They shed skin, they shed their like skin and like form like, they grow into a whole new uh, a whole new being, whatever the case may be, you know. So I think that's a lot of what you have to do along your path to success, and is just understanding that like you have to shed those things in order to get closer, you know, to the goal at the end of the day. And
Right,
so rebranding is necessary.
right, absolutely. And I
To
just want
pimp
to
a
give a shout out.
butterfly.
Yeah, I
That's
just want
it.
to give a shout out to Nate in the comment. Yep, he said nothing good or worth a while came without taking a risk or working for it. Facts.
Absolutely.
Caterpillar into
Absolutely.
butterfly for sure.
Caterpillar
You
into
know,
the
because
butterfly.
I don't know. I've been reflecting on it a lot. Like this is something I've reflected on a lot recently. Is I think it's not that I want to necessarily say it's easy, but it's relatively easy to be good at something. Um, to be great at something is a whole nother level. Like that's just it. And I just don't think a lot of people understand like the level of effort and like whatnot goes into that. Um, and when you're trying to accomplish something that other people like just never understand and never will, and that's okay, right?
Right,
You have to be delusional to a degree, right?
for
Like
sure.
you have to believe it, you know, and have faith in yourself and the universe and God, whatever it is that you choose to believe in. If not, just at least believe in yourself, right? More than anything. But it's not the easiest thing to do, right? To walk that unbeaten path, but it's so worth it, man. It's so worth it. And there's gonna be moments where you stumble. There's gonna be moments where you need to rebrand. There's gonna be moments where you need to like honestly distance yourself from certain people and get closer to others, right? And that's just naturally
Right.
just a part of life. That's I don't think rebranding is just like always necessarily about you, maybe it's about the people around you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot that comes along with rebranding, right? So
Right. Right.
Nah, keep it pushing, Nate. Man,
nah,
you ain't you ain't
keep
here
them
with us,
coming.
bro.
Yeah.
If the
Nah.
if the
We love the
conversation
comment.
Yeah, if the conversation speaking to you, you know what I'm saying, definitely get it off. He said, what he said, the difference between you three and other people is most people don't have the passion to do what it takes to be great. What I see before me is three dudes that are striving for greatness. I appreciate that, bro.
I appreciate
More
that,
than
man.
hey, that if you putting comments like that, you definitely ain't got to stop that. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I
Hey,
appreciate it, man.
hey, all I'm gonna say is it takes a king to know one, man. So salute, man.
Yeah.
Promise you, man.
Right.
And but I want to just I want to jump in this conversation and say I think for a lot of people, what it is they've like kind of like what DG was saying, they've built a reputation on something so heavy
Right.
that they almost feel like other people almost hold them to that standard, and
Right.
it's almost natural, right? Like if you do
Mm-hmm.
something and every time I see you, you're doing it, it's natural for people to like hold you to a certain standard of like this thing, right? But sometimes when you grow like quietly, people don't see the things that you're growing in, rightfully so, right? Like they're not there with you. They're not which when you reading books and you watching podcasts and you know what I mean? Like they don't see that. How would they know that you grew if you didn't tell them? You know what I mean? So something I've been thinking about like just real recently is like we talk about it often, man, is like if you get comfortable with failing, you're gonna be ready for success, right? But if you get comfortable with failing in front of people, then
Right.
you've already won, like you are almost
Hmm.
for sure going to win. You know what I mean? And I think that a lot of people probably have felt like similar of like ready to rebrand or just like start something new that that they've been thinking of, but they don't know how it's going to be taken. I think even us shifting to a rebrand and really just being um like an open book with it. You know what I mean? And just really being like
Yeah.
an open, you know, just open book with what we're trying to shift into is gonna be like it does two things, right? It shows other people that they can do the same, and
Right.
also it creates a lane for us to really step into that version of us that we are now to where
Right.
other people can connect to us where we're at. You know what I mean? Sometimes you
For
just,
sure.
like you're only showing a certain side of you, and then only people that see you publicly is they're connecting to that side of you.
For
But
sure.
with that rebrand and like really kind of getting those other pieces off, man, you're gonna be able to find that new audience that grew with you, man. I was talking to somebody while I was in when I was in Italy, man, and she said something that really sat with me. And I was like, for a long time I've held back certain things that I've learned and have taken on, and just because I didn't feel like it didn't match
Right,
the music side of the brand. And she was just like, you've been making music for a while, right? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, what you're not putting into the conversation and into your thought process is that the people that started watching you probably grew too. So they
right,
would probably appreciate the growth in you as a person and just in the content that you're doing. You know what I mean? And I was like, I just never really thought about that, man. So, you know, um, that's kind of where the space that I've been in now is just like, okay, like let's really list down the things that I'm actually passionate about at this
right,
point.
right,
You know what I mean? And then be vocal about like bringing that into my content. You know what I mean? And
right,
letting that connect with people that are interested in the same things.
for sure.
So
Absolutely. No, that's a good
yeah,
point,
so
bro. And also, when it comes to rebranding too, I feel like sometimes we are so tied with an identity, right? And that even though we over time we lost, let's say we lost that passion for that specific thing, because we were so tied to that, it's hard to let go. Even though we don't want to do that no more, we don't have the passion for that no more. But we are so afraid. Like I'm afraid. It's like I feel like rebranding is like starting over. And most people are afraid to like start over when it comes to most things because you're so comfortable with a specific thing, you're so comfortable in that environment, and then to like leave and like go over and start something new,
hmm
it's fearful. So that's one of the reasons why people hold back, even though deep down inside they feel like they no longer want to do that no more.
it's a
It's
fact.
something they have a better calling. They are more passionate about something else, but the fear of like, oh man, I'm about to start over. I don't know how this is gonna go because whatever you're doing, but you've been doing before, you have built like credibility for a long time, and you
hmm
feel comfortable doing that because you're like, I can do this easily, right? People know
Yeah,
me for this. So whenever you start to rebrand now, it's like you're a beginner in that specific domain. So now it's harder for you. Now you're afraid that, oh, what might other people think of me? I'm just starting this. And that's kind of what we talked about when it comes to fear, bro. You shouldn't allow that fear to hold you back from rebranding. Whether it's like a business, if you're into like finance, you're like, you know what? I really don't like this no more. Let me try something else. For example, Robert F. Smith, he was an
hmm
engineer. He started as an
hmm
engineer, and after that, he was like, you know what? This is cool, but I don't want to do this no more. I want to get into finance. And now he like built like VC firms and all that, and now he's worth $1 billion. So imagine if he would like just like stuck being an engineer. Who knows what he would have been today? So sometimes I feel like we
Right.
allow fear and those things to like hold back and just put us in a box and not and we don't want to like start over and push ourselves even though we have all the skill set. We've been doing it for a long time, and even
Yeah,
like myself included, it's hard, but something you just got to get over that fear of being comfortable to like go in full pursuit of what you really want, because you never know, maybe that rebrand might be the one, the catalyst to change your life for good.
I definitely feel you on that, bro.
Yeah,
At what point do you think it's like time to make the jump? Like is because like to be honest, if you're doing anything, at some point you're
right,
not gonna really feel like doing it, right? But sometimes it might not be a rebrand you need. You might just need a break. You know what I mean? But like
right.
when do you think is like time, like, all right, now it's time to really shift this thing? Like,
Man, to be honest, bro, it's never gonna be a right time for anything. I feel like you just gotta do it because if you wait for the right time, it's gonna be so hard. Something you just gotta do it
yeah,
and believe you have the ability and the skill set, especially if you've been putting in the work. I mean, it's different if you're not whatever you're trying to rebrand into,
yeah,
you haven't been doing the work or whatever, then yeah, give yourself more time. But like if you feel like you've been doing that thing for a while and you feel confident about it and you love to do it, start now. Because you never
yeah,
know, man, especially with today's day and age, you never know, you might be holding yourself back before you realize that one content that you might put in regard to that specific topic, it could be that content not gonna go viral and then give you like,
yeah,
get more people to know about your brand. So I would say
right,
it's never the right time, bro. Something you just gotta start.
yeah. You just got to start, man. And I think having this conversation is important because so many people feel like that. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
not even big. Like I mean, we're talking about content and like and building businesses and stuff like that. Some people are just even with their friend group. Sometimes it's like you might have outgrown certain
Right.
things that we do, and you just like, but you just do it because you're around people that just do it. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like that's like
Right.
like this is what we just do. You know what I mean? But I think, it is important to kind of like know where you're at and know where you want to be. And the craziest thing about that is like people can only really speculate the version of you that they see.
Right.
You know something inside of you that nobody else does. Like, you know what
For
I mean?
sure.
Like I could say like Diamond, like you into fitness, you've been doing, you know what I mean? Like, everything about like how to eat right, every workout. I could tell you that you should just be a fitness coach. Or I could say that. Like
Right.
you could be the
Right.
biggest fitness coach ever. But if
Right.
you see something different, bro, it's not up to me to put on you. Like, you
Correct.
know what I'm saying? Like I think it is cool to take certain things into consideration of like, some people might be just giving you just motivation or just like, what I
Right.
mean, like just really cheering you on because they see you doing certain things, but
Right.
only you really know what type of things that you're trying to really get into at this moment in time, man. And
Right.
I think Nate said something dope in the comments is like you're writing your own story out right now. So the
Right.
people that, there's gonna be people that like came and found you for something, and then you stop doing that and they fell off. But then what you start doing, there's gonna be a new, what I'm saying, new group of people that finds you there
Right.
where you really want to be headed. And, we're writing our own storybook. So imagine at the end of your storybook, you realize you was writing a story just for everybody else. And you
Right.
stopped a long time ago writing a story that you wanted to,
Absolutely.
you know?
Not for sure. And I just want to go back to the comment real quick. Evie said, "What happened to the fitness business, Mr. Grant?" It's on pause for now, bro. Like, I decided I wanted to like, work on other things that in a short term or long term that's in this at this stage I feel like I'm more passionate about than a fitness brand. So I decided to put that on hold for now. Eventually, bro, the goal is to like open like gyms and stuff in Africa, like a long term goal. So,
Right.
but I feel like in order for me to do that, I need to get a capital to do that. So I think
Thanks.
other businesses that I've been working on have been giving me a better return. So I'm focusing on that more. Then eventually I will transition, rebrand to that again. But for now,
Mhm.
I think it's a season for other things right now. But
Yeah,
good question though.
yeah. And I love the rebrand, honestly. Like, the biggest thing about it is what's happening in real time is I'm a fan of everything that's going on for every single one of us, right? I told Ramon, I was literally watching that video and just cheesing the whole time, like, I know this motherfucker, man. I know I know, and it makes me proud to
Right,
say that I know people like y'all, right? And so I think that's just a reflection of who we are. You attract what you are, and so uh, the rebrand is obviously working, right? And to Ramon's point, I think the biggest thing about the rebrand, as far as the direction we plan to take it, is just being a lot more honest with ourselves, and therefore, in turn, being honest with everyone else. Like
right,
this is who I am. This is who we are. There's no need to hide behind anything, any labels, no nothing. Like this is exactly what it is,
right,
and if you want to come alongside the journey, definitely come along, right? If it
right,
inspires you to like share more about your own journey, absolutely love that. Like, but at the end of the day,
right,
I think that vulnerability to just like share, like our story and like what it is that compels us and think really just like being in charge of our own legacies and our own voices, right? Like not leaving it up to chance. Like, there's nobody who can go on Ramon's page now and be like, I wonder what he does. Right? They know
right,
Exactly.
exactly what you do now. Like they know
right,
Exactly.
exactly what you do now, right? There's nothing
right,
Exactly.
that's left up to chance. And I think
right,
the more that you eliminate chance and just are more intentional uh, with your rebrand and just like making it as authentic to you as you possibly can be, that's what resonates with people the most.
right. And also, like I know when we're talking about rebranding right now, we were talking from like a business, from an economic standpoint. But rebranding doesn't always have to be at that level. It can just be in your personal life, right?
Hmm.
You can wake up tomorrow and you know what, I'm sick and tired of just the person I am right now. I want to make a change. I want to be
Yeah.
Mhm.
overall a better person. I want to be a man of my word. That's a reburn right there.
Yeah.
I want to be a person with integrity. That's a reburn right there. It doesn't always have to be about money, business, all these material
Hmm.
success. It can just be like you
Facts.
just want to be a different person. You just want
Big
something
facts.
different in your life.
Yeah,
That's a reburn. So I just wanted to make that clear as well too.
absolutely. I love that
On
you
the,
said that too. I
oh, go
think a
ahead, please.
rebrand is ultimately just like it's what was it? I think they said it in Atomic Habits. It's like uh it's a vote for like the person that you want to be, like, right? You understand
Every
who
action
you
we
are
take,
currently, and every action that you take for a rebrand is a choice towards the person that you want to be, and growing into
Absolutely.
that in real time, right? It's not that like somebody who's like 50 pounds overweight can look in the mirror and be like, all right, I need to do something about this. And the moment that they make that choice and say like, look, I'm the sexiest motherfucker alive, you believe that
Right.
shit, right?
Right.
You know, uh, every conscious decision that you make, every salad that you eat instead of like, that burger, right? Every smoothie that you drink instead of a slice of pizza, all that's all getting you like a step closer to the person that you
Mm-hmm.
want to be,
Right.
right?
hmm
But it's believing it's not just about like knowing who you're going to be, it's believing that you're them in that current
Right.
moment too, right?
Acting like
So
that person.
that's a fact.
exactly.
Because what we don't talk about often is everybody has a brand, whether they
Right.
like it or know it or not, right? Like if you know anybody that you know, you can kind of think about the things that you know them for. That's what they're
Right.
putting off. That's what
Yeah.
they're
Right.
putting out. If they always wear black, or if they all just little stuff, right? Like if they, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, the type of clothes they wear, or type of car they drive, or the even if it's not material, just the type of like the type of energy they give off when they walk in the room. Everybody
Right.
has a brand,
Facts.
whether it's online or not. Like we have a brand that we're putting out into the world, right? And at any point you can make that rebrand. I love what Nate said right there, man. He said, hell, if I'm gonna start making my bed, that's a rebrand. Like if
Yeah.
you never used to make your bed growing up, if you never made your bed growing up, bro, and then one day you was just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing that, man. It's funny that he said that because I was kind of like a here and there with the making the bed. But I
Right.
remember my homeboy Davion one time, I just seen it. I was scrolling one day, and he posted on the story like, did you make your bed today? Just to the, you know what I'm saying, to the world, for the world to see, bro, right? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I didn't, Shout out to Davion, bro, because I've made my bed every day since that moment, and
Yep.
that like I
Yep.
love that he said that because that is a
Yeah.
rebrand, bro. Whatever,
Yeah.
whatever in that moment when you just want to take like that one thing to be like, nah, bro, like
Yeah.
that shit ain't nothing cool about coming back to the bed that night and the shit just
Right.
look like the
Right.
day before. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah,
Right.
Yeah.
and you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So it's just like those
Facts.
little things. Those little things are big things though, because in the same moment when you rebrand something that small, sometimes it
Right.
gets a little easier to rebrand the bigger things too. Like,
Yeah.
all right, now
Yeah.
let me lock into this next. You know what I
No,
mean?
Yeah.
for sure.
And I'm glad
No.
you said that too, because I actually one of my old boss actually at my previous job, she told me, she was like, do you make your bed every day? And at that time I wasn't. Like I would
Right.
make my bed, I would say maybe like it was like 50-50. Like I would make my bed every other day,
Right.
kind of thing.
Right.
Uh and she said something like, she was like, some of the most successful people in life make their beds every day. And
Right.
like it was that switch for me, right? Because I'm
Right.
like identifying as somebody who I already feel like I am successful, but wanting to be,
At that
like
next
in
level,
a,
yeah.
at that next level, right? I'm like, it just makes sense, right? Because I think you already start your day off the right
Right.
way. To
Right.
Nate's point, right, is you start your day off productive already because it's just like I got
Right.
out of my bed and I made my bed. Like
Right.
majority of people aren't gonna do that, right?
I, I,
Like so
Hmm.
I
I was
think
one of them today. I didn't do it today. But however, I woke up, went downstairs, I got work done, but I didn't make my bed. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. But that's something no, that's something I started, but like I didn't do it today. But that's something like after talking to you guys, something I want to be more cognizant of and doing every day. Because
hmm
one thing that I just want to say, like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Though I feel like with what you
Facts.
guys
facts,
are saying, once
facts.
you start building that little discipline, it might seem a little insignificant, but once you like start, you say what? Damn, day. But once you start with little things, bro, and you just become good at those things, everything else in your life start getting better, bro. Because if your bed is made, now you come downstairs in your house, dishes in the sink is not gonna be there no more. Because
Yeah.
you're gonna have a higher standard for your life. And those little things, bro, just like transfer over in other areas. Now you're gonna realize that your fitness, your physique is gonna be better. Your
Hmm.
finances is gonna be better. Your relationship
Mhm.
is gonna be better just because now you have a higher standard for yourself.
Yep.
Even like before, like my mom used to be saying, make up a bed. I never understood what she said. Like, I'm not making up my bed when I gotta. But now, when you think about it, it's not about the idea of just making your bed, but just
Yeah.
overall the little discipline you built over time.
Hmm.
And how you do
Yeah.
one thing is how you do everything, bro. So yeah.
Hmm.
And that discipline becomes your brand.
Hmm.
Like, you know what
That's
I'm
it.
saying? Like if you end up making your bed, doing the dishes, doing all that, at some point somebody's gonna be like, Z's neat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Z
Yeah.
keeps his
Yeah.
stuff together. Like
His house is
it's part
clean.
of it's
Yeah.
part of his brand now. Every time I come in
Yeah.
there, bed made, you know what I mean? It smells good in there, man. Ain't no dishes in the sink every single time. You know what I mean?
Right.
That becomes your brand. Like I don't think what people see is like what you do every day is just your brand, whether you know what I'm saying, like look at it like that or not. Other people see certain things in you. You know what I mean? Like
Bro, it's fact. Man, it's crazy though, because like even for me now, bro, because I keep my house clean. So whenever
Yeah.
I go places, when things are like not clean, I'm a little bit upset. Like I want to
It
like
it drives me
I
crazy,
mean,
bro.
damn, bro.
Z is my witness. He came out here. This was immaculate. It was clean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
not because, well, even not when the first day, the second day, the third day, this shit was clean. So I feel like just by doing that, like when I go other places, when things are like organized, I notice that like I'm becoming a little bit frustrated. I'm like, man, why is your house dirty?
Like
Yeah.
And
lock in,
why?
man. Lock
Facts.
in, man.
Facts. And you know the truest test of how clean somebody is not actually their house. Because like when they know that they're having company, they typically tidy up. It's
Right,
really how clean their car is. That's
right,
the biggest test.
right.
That is the
Facts,
biggest test of it all is how clean your car
facts,
is.
facts.
Facts. Boy, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I've opened the door to some cars and I was like, fam, how do you live like this, fam?
I
Like
can't
this
even
is
get
Right.
in there.
crazy. Like, I'm like, I don't even want to sit my ass down in this car. Like this is crazy. Like,
Like I just
Man.
bought this
oh,
shirt, man. This is
and you know how
I
they
can,
even excuse the mess. Let me fam, like what?
It's messing here for days, man. That is true, but like how you do one thing and just how you do everything, man. Because the little discipline, bro, they like transfer over. And for me, like I would say the discipline that I built just from working out and fitness overall, I noticed
Mhm.
that in like my financial life, and it's a lot easier because when I say, oh, I'm just gonna spend a certain amount this month. It's easier for me to do that because I've done that in other areas. I'm not gonna eat this. I'm not gonna. Well, I'm gonna work out 5 days a week. I'm gonna do this. And I feel like once you build discipline in one area, it's easier to like transfer that discipline in other areas of your life.
Yeah,
You just gotta like start, just commit to one thing first. Then over time, it's easier to like transition into other things. Because like once if you locked in, you're gonna get the result. It's just gonna take
Yeah.
time. But you just gotta lock in to get to that next level.
Yep.
I got a random question for y'all, and Nate too, man. Nate, you damn near need your own episode, bro. We're gonna have you on one day. I don't know if I know who you are, but I like how
Yeah.
you coming, man. But a question, man. Do y'all think it's better to rebrand in silence or rebrand in public?
Man, I think it depends on the individual, right? Because like other people, I think silence makes sense, right? Because once you have that pressure on you, it might be like overwhelming for you. It just depends on your personality overall. But like for me personally, I think I like people to hold me accountable overall because I feel like I do well with pressure.
Hmm.
Because if I
Hmm.
just say it by
Hmm.
myself, I'm more likely to slack. And that's why when we talk about 9 to 5 and entrepreneurship, sometimes I'm gonna make that correlation. It's easier when you go to work. It's easier to do that work because you're getting paid for that work, and people are holding you accountable. But when it
Yeah,
comes to your personal business, the things you want to do, sometimes you slack on those things because no one is holding you accountable, right?
Facts.
Because
facts,
I can
big
choose
facts.
today. If I don't want to work out, and no one gonna tell me go to the gym. But like my job today, I know I got to get this shit done, no matter if
Yeah,
I'm tired or not.
Yeah.
So I feel
somebody's gonna
like
follow up.
someone's gonna follow up, diamond, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So I think it's for me, it's important just to like make those things like have it doesn't always have to be public, but just like friends in your corner and just let them
Hmm.
know, hey, bro, this is what I want to do. Please hold me accountable. Make sure I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? Make sure call me out on my BS. Don't let me to slack. So I think for just know that self, who like just how you perform. For me personally, I perform when I'm under like pressure, when people are holding me accountable. Over time I tend to do better than if it's just like me just chilling, not doing anything.
Mhm.
So
That's fire.
Yeah.
You think Z?
what about you guys?
I think I'm similar. I think I like there's something about like going alongside the journey with like someone else, right? Like where even if like y'all aren't necessarily going on the same journey as me, like right, like I'm going on this weight loss journey. I got to lose 40 pounds by the end of this year, right?
Mhm.
Y'all aren't on the exact same journey as me, right? But like it's nice to know that like I have somebody I can communicate with it about it. And to your point, DG, is having somebody to help hold you accountable too, right? I think
Right,
that's huge, right? Um I think there's only so much motivation that you have. Motivation runs out at some point, right?
right,
And so
right,
sometimes having somebody else to just like be that little kick in the ass that you need is important, And so it's just like, hey
right.
man, just like Davion, did you make your bed today? You-
Mhm.
did you go to the gym today?
Right,
Right? Did you pray today? Those type
right,
of things. Like it's just
Mhm.
I think it's important to have those reminders. And there's only so much that you can remind yourself, and I think having that like additional influence is always something that's appreciated, at least for myself specifically. So I would say like more so in public, but also like not so much in public, right? I'm not making
right,
everything like that I'm doing in my reband public.
right, right,
Right.
Majority of it I'm sharing, but like not all of the journey needs to be shared or should be shared. I think that
right,
like there's got to be something that you keep for yourself
right,
too, right?
right,
Like that saying goes like you should disappear in silence and then come back like an entirely different person. I think
right.
some people function a lot very well in that space,
Mhm,
right? Where it's
mhm.
just like they show up 6 months later and it's like, wait, who the fuck is that? Like, um, but yeah, I would say for myself personally, I think public, but
Yeah.
to a degree.
You had to pick. Yeah, it's
Right,
tough. I mean, it's tough. I was going back and forth too, man. And I, if I was gonna, I always got to, we got to make it polarizing. But
right,
if I was really gonna say it, I'd probably like start in silence and then ease
Mhm.
your way into public. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I had to pick, probably just the public side, or just on that sense, it's like it's so easy to just like you could start to become somebody that tells yourself things that you never do. And it's like, I'm gonna do this, and then you never do it, and then you lose faith in yourself, bro. It's like a
facts.
weird thing. It's like a weird thing, but like it is something dope about just having somebody be like, "What's up with that thing that you was just talking about?"
Right,
Ah, damn. You know what I mean? Just make you think twice about what you said, like holds you accountable to your what you said and what you know what I
right,
mean? So
right,
I think if I had to be on a polarizing side, I'd
right,
probably say that just because same reasons as you guys, man. It's kind of
right,
like, and then you can take people on the journey with you sometimes, man. I think that's what's super dope, man. I've seen people like it was like this dude that just I don't really know him that well, man. I think he was like, he was into music a little bit, but then he was like picking up a new instrument. He was like, I'm just gonna start playing the saxophone. You know what I mean? And then he just was like, one day it just was horrible, bro. Horrible. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just hitting some notes. And I was like, that's bad. Like, that's bad,
right,
bro.
right,
But, you know what I'm saying? One day it started sounding a little bit better. Like, probably a couple months down the line, he kept just posting. And then one time I was like, I was about to ready hit him up for like a project. Like, bro, can I can you freestyle that shit? Like, can you just come down to play on some? I was damn near ready to get him. You know what I mean? And I was just like,
right,
there's something dope about that because now he failed so much in public that now I know that I seen the work that he put in. So it's not like he
right,
could just tell he doesn't have to tell me he plays the sax. I've seen you
right.
working, bro. Like
Over
you know what I
time,
mean? So
yeah,
there is something dope sometimes about that in public thing because people know at that point that you put in the work, you
right,
know?
right. I feel like
You know, so I just wanted to add that to it.
I would say yeah, there are pros and cons too, right? If you look at it, right? Because sometimes
Absolutely. Absolutely.
if you
Absolutely. To everything.
if you open it publicly, sometimes people can discourage you too, and not other people that
Oh, for
have built for
sure.
that. People gonna
Facts.
be like,
Yeah, for
imagine
sure.
you want to like start something and everyone just keep commenting, you suck at this, bro. You suck
Yeah,
all the
you the
time.
worst,
Yeah.
bro.
You're the worst
Put that shit
saxophone player
down, bro.
ever.
I
And then
hope you
that's
got the I hope you
somebody.
got the receipt for that motherfucker, man.
So no, for real. Imagine you trying to become, you gotta learn a saxophone, and then whenever you play, people are just like going off on you like that. I feel like if you're not strong, if you don't really believe in yourself, you're gonna quit. You're like, maybe
Yeah,
I'm not good, and then other people can, talk you out of it. But
yeah.
if you work slowly, I think you made a really good point when I was reflecting on it. I would say just now, I think I might have to like change my answer a little bit. I would say like start in silent, work on it. Once you
Yeah.
build to a certain level of resistance,
Yeah.
once you
Yeah.
then make it public. That's why
Yep.
now I think that'll be my answer.
Yeah.
Start
Yeah.
in silence
Yeah.
first. Once you
Hmm.
build that momentum, gain the skill sets
Yeah.
and things that you need to be good, and then you can share that. Don't just
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
start, I want to do this and make it public, and you've never done it before. You don't even have any like ability to do that. I think you're a lot. It's easier for you to be influenced negatively for you
Yeah.
not to do that. So that would be my take on that.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah.
DG, I know you probably got to hop off soon.
Yeah. In the next five, let me see. I'll say the next 10 minutes. So they say if I can only give one small word of advice, and you will hear from this from some of the greatest mind of out there. Do not read comments, especially the negative comments.
Facts.
It doesn't feel so. It's fact.
Yeah.
But just for human beings, knowing who we are, it's just so hard to
It's
not.
hard not to read them. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's not that it's you're gonna read them, right? I think
Right.
naturally it's
Yeah.
just like you're gonna read the comments. I think whether it's not a whether you choose to like let them impact you or not, I think
Correct.
is really the biggest
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
naturally, because Ramon and I we talk about it all the time. Like as you elevate, right? As you like get further into your career of success there's naturally going to be hate that comes along with it, right? Like
Absolutely.
there's people are always going to have an opinion, and there's definitely going to be negative opinions that are
Mm-hmm.
definitely associated with that, right? And
Right.
so regardless, you can't avoid it, right? Like especially
Hmm.
to your point of like, as you continue to elevate and the higher that you climb in the rankings and just in life and just really just in um, thing of value, right? There's always going to be people who just have a bone to pick with you for no reason whatsoever, right? And it's like, fam, I ain't never met you a single day in my life. Like, what the hell you
Right.
doing? You on my YouTube talking about like you hope I die and shit? Like, fam, like what? Like, like, that's crazy. Like, right? Like that's nuts. But honestly, like just like I think it was Lil Duval who said it, right? Like if you got haters, you're doing something right, right?
Right.
Like at the end of the day,
Right.
like that's it's just naturally a part of it. Like, there's
Right.
always gonna be love that's associated with, there's gonna be hate that's associated with it, right? We talk
Yeah.
about it all the time. LeBron is one of the greatest players to ever like grace this earth. And there's so many people who hate him. Like, right?
People
So
Right.
talk.
like,
People talk about him like he should have never played. Sometimes, like,
yeah.
Yeah.
like,
And I'm just like, fam, like what?
you know what I'm
This shit is
saying?
nuts. Like it's just crazy. Like uh like and it's just it's naturally just it comes with it, man. Like and
Mm.
you just gotta be willing to just take that shit on the chin, and just like I think you have to it's in those moments where you really gotta like have a strong sense of like your own self-worth
Right.
and value, but also just like that the opinions that should matter most to you are the people that like are closest to you, the people who actually matter. Like
I agree.
the strangers that you're like never gonna encounter ever again in life,
Right.
who cares? I don't give a
That's
damn what you think,
Yeah.
right?
that's
Because
true.
I'm never gonna see you again in my life. I'm gonna read this comment and I may remember it, forever, but it's just like I'm not gonna remember like the person that's associated with this. I just remember the comment, right? And it's just like
Yeah.
whether you choose to let that affect you or not is really
Right.
up to you. But just
Right.
understand it comes with the territory.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Just to add to that point too, because me and Z had this conversation before of like, and to be honest, if you get all good like reception, then maybe not enough people know about what you're doing. because
Right.
like, because if you like, let's say you're doing something kind of good, right? And let's say you got like a supporting, loving family, right? If you just go home and tell them like, hey, I'm doing this, I got the job, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna be, yeah, that's, I love it, you know what I'm saying? But at a certain point, if you have some type of product that you want multiple people, like a lot of people to see, at some point people are just going to hate it. And that actually, to me, I started shifting my mind. Like that means people are seeing it that I never knew
Right.
that don't even really resonate with the content. That means whatever I'm doing on the marketing side is getting out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
No,
This is starting
Facts.
to
absolutely.
hit people
Facts.
that I didn't expect it to. Like, appreciate you listening, big dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
It definitely it changed my perspective of it. Like, if you hate the shit, that's cool. But you listen to all you talking about the
Yeah.
line that was at the end of the song, and
Right.
you
You
listen
paying
to the whole
attention.
thing.
Right. You listen. Yeah.
Appreciate
You
you, bro.
pay.
You
Yeah.
know,
You pay.
you know what I'm saying? So, when you change your mindset, it's just like that just comes with it, especially if you have any type of product that you're putting pushing out into the world. Like at some point somebody's not gonna like it, but if they,
Right,
you know, if it hypes them up enough to say something about it, then that means, you know what I mean, like it's building. And the crazy thing is, like, when I think of people like Black Sands, like he actually uses some of the negative content as his marketing material. Like, you
right.
know, you know what I'm saying? Like, he'll take like a negative comment and then make a video about it, and then he has this whole, you know what I mean, the whole group of people kind of like, you know, kind of tear, you know, like breaking down what the person said and why it's wrong and shit, like, you know what I mean. So sometimes it's just even part of the, you know. So all I'm saying is the more that you build something up, just like Z said, man, the more people are gonna love it and hate it. You know, I mean, it's part
Right.
of it though.
That's it.
That's fact. And also one thing I want to add too, that sometimes I feel like we got to learn to be humble, right? Because sometimes those people might be critiquing us. It's not. It doesn't always have to be negative, right? Or they're not coming from a negative standpoint, right? They're just giving us some like feedback. But I feel like sometimes you have to have an open mind. Not every comment is hate. Not just oh yeah, because oh bro, I like the music. Maybe you could have done this better, right? Maybe
Yep.
I'm not hating. Maybe I'm just coming from a place that I can actually help you get better. Maybe I'm saying things that you're not saying or you're not thinking about. So sometimes learn to like take the feedback in. Don't always assume that they are haters.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
sometimes whenever people comment on something, oh, I don't like it. Oh, you're a hater. You're a hater. But no, sometimes not everyone who said they don't like specific things or being a hater. Sometimes maybe you just gotta show them more. Maybe
Yeah.
they're just giving you like a they're trying to help you grow because those
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
things that you never seen before.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a way for you to like, you know what? Maybe I should work on my beat selection a little bit more. Instead
For
Yeah.
of just
real.
like, oh, DJ's a
Facts.
hater. You know what I'm saying? So
Facts.
not every feedbacks or when people like comment on
Yeah.
they're hating on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the important piece of that is like being able to separate the two.
Correct.
Yeah.
There you
You know
go.
what I
Facts.
mean? Like
Yeah.
that's important. Who like who would be saying this and why would they be saying it? Like, are they trying to help me get better or are they trying to tear it down? Just kind of
Hmm.
Right.
break down what's the intention of what this person is saying. If they're saying you know what I mean, you know, this shit trash, bro, never rap again, you can kind of see where they're
Exactly.
coming from, right?
Yeah.
they're
But if
they're
someone
haters.
somebody's saying like, man, you know, like, man, it doesn't sound like the bass is mixed right. It's kind of
Right.
muddy in the middle of it. It's muddy in the middle of it, man. I like what you're saying, but it's not really sitting in the pocket of the beat right. You know what I mean? And actually, I don't think that beat actually fits your voice. That's a different conversation. It's like,
Right.
okay, that's a good, you know what I mean? Other people might be feeling the same thing. And then, you know, you
Right.
might even felt like, to be honest, I didn't really like that beat. I was just rocking with the producer and he threw it to me. Maybe it don't work. You know what I mean? So I think it is important to kind of like be able to like
Right.
see both sides of that, you know?
Right. I know we're getting close to the mark because I gotta like get out of here for a meeting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But
So
I
that
just
being
yeah, but
said,
yeah, I just want to say, Nate, yeah, for sure, bro. I'm gonna connect with you after this
yeah.
episode, and then if you want to join us live, yeah, let me know,
Yeah.
bro. We can like plan an episode for you, and really
Yeah.
appreciate for being a comment, bro.
Yeah. Nate, you've been a real one, man. So we would be honored to have you join us, man. So let's definitely tap in. But y'all know what we do, man. You know, it's the Spot Network. At the end of every episode, we put y'all on the spot. You know, we ask you a this or that, would you rather question. So today's question is obviously about rebranding. Would you rather be stuck in a brand from a younger version of you, like a 19-year-old version of you, but it worked, right? But you're forever known for that brand. And let's say like you were financially successful because of that brand, but you could never rebrand, right? You know, like,
And
or would you rather be able to rebrand as much as you want to, but know that like you're just ultimately never going to accomplish that success that you have in your mind, but you're more authentic to yourself?
I'll make sure I answer the first question. So the first scenario is like I'm young, right, and then I focus on a specific brand. But am I successful?
Shout,
Is
shout
this
out to
something
Kurt
that
Vaughn.
is this something that I want to do? Like the first scenario, is this something
You
that I
used to
actually
want
enjoy
to, like,
doing?
You used to want
not,
to, like,
like Greg put it the best right there. He said it's like FUBU. It's
yep,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you created FUBU and you was rocking it and that was like your style at 19 and it would just work for the rest of your life kind of, but that's you be stuck there. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Because like think about the shit we was doing at like 19 years old, bro. Like
Yeah.
there's some shit that I'm like, fam, I do not want to be over. Like right now, like I'm
Right.
just in a different chapter of life, but like you stuck in that. Like you're stuck in that forever, right? You know,
Well, I
like
mean, it depends. Let's say, for example, like if that scenario with fitness, right? Let's say if I would have built a fitness brand by 19, and then
mhm.
I become really successful at it, like what all I have to do the rest of my life, I think I'll be okay with that. And
But you
then
couldn't
trying
get
to
into
like,
finance and none of that. Like you couldn't get into none of that other stuff. Think about it too.
no,
You
no,
couldn't really
but
get into real estate. You just
right, but going back to Z point, he said that when you get into this thing, you're not gonna be good at it. Though. That's what he said. You're
he
just
didn't
gonna
say
be
you wouldn't
like,
be good. He said you
Nah,
wouldn't get
I didn't.
the type of
You just want
success
to get
that
the
you in your
reward.
mind.
yeah,
You
but
wouldn't
I
get a
mean,
huge reward.
yeah, but what's the point of going into those things and I can't get the result that I want? Then it'd just be like it would be hobby. So I'll probably like stick to that one thing and then just be good at it. That's what I would
That's the
do.
point. That's the point. That's the point. I'm for sure changing, bro.
Right.
If I was still
Facts.
rapping like I was rapping when I was 19,
Fan. Fan.
you know what I
Yes,
But
mean?
you're
that
And
the
that would like, and
but
I
you're the
was like,
biggest rapper
yeah,
though. The
like it's
biggest,
just
yeah,
me. When they say the big three, they were talking about me, Kendrick. You know,
yeah, the
like
big,
nah, like,
yeah.
but I was still rapping like I was when I was 19, bro. Nah,
nah, there's no
nah, nah,
way.
nah, nah,
There's
nah,
no
nah,
way,
nah, nah,
fam.
nah, man.
I'm
I
definitely
think
rebranding.
I'm taking a rebrand, bro. And he didn't say you wouldn't be successful at all. Just like the level that in your mind that you would want, you wouldn't get. Like so, it'd
Yeah.
just be like, I'm never going to like, peak in these other areas, but I get to be
You can make like
authentic to.
70K a year, like
Nah.
I get to shift to like the
Nah, he
authentic,
said
the
70
authentic.
forever, 70K a year forever. No, no, I'm done. You good?
But you
okay,
get to constantly,
I'll
but you
give you like
even
80K. I'll give you 80K a
even
year,
that, but even if it's 70, but you get to keep rebranding. So no matter at what point in your life you get to rebrand and just get a 70 again, rebrand. You know what I mean? Like it's not great. It's not great, but you can work with 70. I didn't work
You
with less.
could,
You know what I'm
but
Yeah,
yeah,
saying?
I
Like
agree.
facts.
I
But
didn't work with less, bro. And then I rebrand into some, to stocks at some point. Like you
right,
rebrand to things to
because you
build
do
it. Like
right, you do that because you rebrand into those things because you know you can build those things way more than anything
Yeah.
else, right? Because imagine I was like you just go into stocks, it's just capped at 70K. That's the most you can ever make from that. It's not fun no more because like what are you pursuing? It doesn't challenge you no more. It's like you're always gonna be like moving around, chasing something different. So with the way Z phrase that, I would say no,
But
I can't.
he didn't say that you couldn't like live below your means and still build
Yeah, but
build your shit
imagine
up though.
living below your
Like
means, bro.
if I'm only making 70, I guarantee like I'm gonna be building shit though. Like
Right,
that means I could
Yeah.
live off 50 and
but
20
yeah,
aside, or you know what I'm saying?
but we talk about cap because we have a ceiling now. It's like a ceiling. So for that reason, it's like damn, like I can't really be good at this, right? Because now it's a cap. Whatever I do decide to do, I can be good at it now because I can only be a $70,000 DJ. I can only be a $70,000 like that's all, and I
Be
only have
player
to
though. That
define
be
it
player,
myself,
man. Like that be player, man. At some point
for
you
the
want to
rest
just
of
be
my
a pilot.
life.
Be a
But I
pilot,
mean,
you
if
know
I
what I'm
was a
saying? You could
70K
just
DJ and still like traveling and like they was